Welcome, everyone, to the very first episode of Unapologetic Marketers. I'm your host, Dev Frank, full stack web developer and SEO expert.
What's up, guys? I'm Carlos Arceo, and I'm an SEO and digital marketing strategist.
Perfect.
Talking about digital marketing and why it's important. And I think a lot of people, a lot of business owners, they probably know that, there's a thing called digital marketing. They know that it's probably important, and they know that maybe their competitors are using it, but they probably don't know what exactly does digital marketing entail. Like, what exactly is digital marketing? How does it work? How does it, revolve around their business? How do other businesses use it? And so I think that's something that we should probably break down for them so that they understand what digital marketing is and how it can be beneficial to their business.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Digital marketing is, really taken over nowadays, especially in a digital world where everybody's online. You got all the eyeballs online. And that's really what we're here to do, on Unapologetic Marketers. We're really going to be focusing on digital marketing, how you can use it, how you can implement some of these strategies. And, really, we're here to share our knowledge on what experts are doing, what we're doing, and what's working. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit more into, digital marketing, what it means to you, Carlos. I mean, what does digital marketing mean to you? Because we hear it all the time. It's kind of a little bit of a gimmick nowadays for companies, selling their services. But, Carlos, tell me, what does digital marketing mean to you?
Yeah, that's a good point too. When you said that it's kind of almost even gimmicky now, it's kind of like a buzzword that gets thrown around. I know oftentimes I'll see like commercials or ads for like, different hosting websites. For example, like Squarespace or other things like that. And they'll say, oh, the number one platform for SEO and this and that. And it's kind of like, well, what is SEO? And how does this thing that's automated, how does this drag and drop builder help me do SEO? So it can get a little gimmicky. But for me, digital marketing, let me ask you this, Frank, how old are you?
So I'm 27. I'm a 27-year-old, expert SEO, expert in web development. But yeah, I've been in this field, a few years now, and I've been learning a lot. But yeah, to answer your question, so I'm 27 years old right now.
27, and I'm 31. And the thing that I think a lot of business owners, one of the kind of first obstacles that we hit is, there was a shift a few years ago, not that many years ago now, but if you're an older business owner, you might recall a time when the internet was new. And back when the internet was new, there was a few different search engines that we used, right? So there was Yahoo, there was whatever Microsoft had at the time, which is now Bing. You had Ask Jeeves, Google was coming out. There was all these new search engines, and it was just kind of a way to find things online. And then, Google became the number one search engine because they developed an algorithm. And basically what the algorithm for Google did is, whenever you were typing certain keywords, they helped you find the most relevant answer to whatever question or whatever topic you were looking for. Through the evolution of search engines, as we now know, Google is the main one. I think it's somewhere like probably 80 or more % of people that use search engines are on Google.
Yeah. And one of the things to keep in mind is that is the case, in places like, North America. I do know that, depending if you guys are watching internationally, there are other search engines. If you guys do have questions about those specific search engines, make sure you guys drop them in the comments. Let us know what search engines you guys are using so we can make sure that we make more content based on the actual tools you guys are using for.
Yeah, and let us know what search engines you started using when you first got on the internet and which search engines you missed the most. So to me, what digital marketing is, it's just a way to use search engines efficiently. So whenever you type in a service, a product, or whatever, it gives you the best information. So in the past, when you had marketing, which you still do have, but it's now to a lesser degree, whether it was on TV, radio, or billboards. That's what we call in the industry. It's not.
Yeah, it's more of your traditional marketing. It's
It's more
more of the
traditional
marketing
marketing.
that
Yeah.
people that may remember, stuff like pamphlets. You just said it, billboards. I mean, billboards, they're starting to become a thing of the past, but still, in those high traffic areas, very places like cities with high population concentration, billboards may still be a very, very great form of traditional marketing. And also other forms of traditional marketing that we all know, we've all seen, it's going to be your commercials. That Sunday morning when you turn on your TV to watch the morning news, whatever it is, and you'll see a lot of advertisement on there. And that's what I would consider a little bit more of that traditional sense of marketing.
Yeah, and one thing, to Frank's point, traditional marketing is something that we would call disruptive marketing, because say like a commercial on the radio or a billboard, whatever they're advertising, it may not necessarily pertain to something that you're interested in, right? So they might give you something about like, oh, did your house flood and do you need an emergency this and that? And you might be like, no, I rent an apartment. So they're marketing, they're getting their message across, but it's not going to the people that might necessarily need it. So that's disruptive marketing, to where digital marketing has more search intent. So if you're a restoration company, when people look for you on the internet, or whenever you're doing your marketing, you're going to be targeting specifically people that are already looking for your services in that area. So you're not just marketing to the general populace.
Yeah, no, and that's a super great example. I'm really excited that you brought that up, Carlos. And really, what you're talking, about, when I listen to that, that's really SEO, right? If you're going on a search engine like Google, right? Let's say you're looking for, how Carlos was saying, a restoration company, and you go online and you put up, water damage restoration near me. If you are a business in that area, you want to be coming up for those type of queries, right? If your website is not optimized for those type of queries, they're not going to find you, right? And most of the time, as consumers, we really go to what is most convenient. And a lot of the times, what's most convenient is what is on that first page of Google, right? And it may be one of those things that we look it up on our maps, or we look it up on Google or Bing, whatever it is you're looking up. You want to make sure your site is fully optimized to pop up, in the first three options realistically. And there are other things, that you can do to pop up all the way at the top, such as, paid search. And we'll dive a little bit more into, that type of category. But right now, Carlos, let's dive a little bit into SEO, right? SEO, what does it stand for? We hear it all the time, especially for these new businesses. And we hear it on programs like Shark Tank. Hey, are you doing SEO? Are you doing international SEO? Are you doing e-commerce SEO? We hear it all the time. I know I hear it all the time. And I recently had, one of my buddies I was talking with, Carlos, he asked me, hey, what is SEO? What does it stand for? And I'm like, you don't know what it stands for? Like, to me, it gets a little bit crazy because I'm in that space. So I know exactly what it means all the time, right? So Carlos, let's take it away a little bit. What does SEO stand for?
Yeah, no, so good point. I think too, sometimes, often, when people sell you services, they just kind of plug in that word, right? Oh, I do SEO this and I do SEO that. But exactly. So as Frank was saying, what is SEO? So SEO stands for search engine optimization. So as we were talking about before, what is a search engine? Well, Google's a search engine. Yahoo's a search engine. Ask Jeeves, Ask.com, all these old search engines of the past. So a search engine is kind of, where you have your little bar, you type in whatever you're looking for. That's a search engine. So we optimize your website, your content. So when somebody types in, as Frank was saying, keywords, like if you're that water restoration company, they're going to type in, water restoration near me or other keywords. And so what we do is we optimize your content so that you pop up when somebody searches for those keywords that may have your industry in there, like, water restoration near me, dentist near me, mechanic near me. If you're a mechanic, dentist, or a water restoration company, you want to have your website and your content optimized so that when people look for you, that you pop up. Because, as I was kind of saying earlier with the whole thing with the age, back in the day, it was more like a word of mouth, or you had yellow books. But since the technological revolution has happened, we all look on our phones now, right? Everything now is on our phones, or we ask someone, hey, Frank, my car broke down. Do you know a mechanic? Or, hey, mom, this happened. Do you know this service or this product? But if we don't have that word of mouth, we're going to go look. We're going to go look on the internet, and we're going to just trust whatever pops up first that looks attractive to us for whatever reason. We're going to click on it, and we're probably going to go with that business or service.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really good point. If nobody gives you their personal recommendation, your very first thing, and let's be honest, guys, one of the most powerful forms of marketing is always going to be word of mouth, right? You're
Word of
going
mouth,
to
yep.
take that recommendation from, your family, your mom, your friends, any person in your life. You're going to take that recommendation to the heart, and it's probably going to be your very first one. However, if you don't get a recommendation, your very next step is going to be a quick Google search. All right, it's going to be a quick Google search. You're going to look up something, like maintenance services near me. And if you're a business, Carlos just spoke on this. He spoke on keywords, right? Many of us hear keywords, and we may not know exactly what it is, but let's break it down a little bit, bring it back. What is a keyword? So really what a keyword is it's a phrase, or specifically a word that shows an intent from a user. So if you're online and you're looking for food, you're going to type in pizza, right? If you have a pizza shop, right, you're going to type in pizza shop near me, and the pizza shops near you, their web pages, their websites, or their online profile should be set up to where it's very obvious to a user, or to a searcher, that they have the product they are looking for. In this case, pizza, or maintenance service, or you know engine replacements, whatever it is, blinker fluid. We all heard blinker fluid, right? But that's really what keywords is, and that's one of the things that SEO does. Is one of the things that SEO experts do is it's going to be a keyword research, right? We're going to research what keywords you should be using on your website, because it's really, in simple terms, it's how a user will be looking up your service, right? You want to keep it in the most simple form, and really be looking into those type of keywords that are going to help your business stand out, and just be very straightforward. Hey, we offer XYZ services, so when they look for that service, you're popping up. And SEO, it's really that secret sauce that can make or break your online business. And like I was saying, what SEO truly is, for me, is a way of optimizing your online presence so you are found. Someone's able to find your services. If someone's looking for your services and what you're doing and what you're offering, you should be popping up. And that's what SEO is, ultimate goal is to make sure if your users are looking for you, you're popping up. It's very that simple, right?
Yep. And to Frank's point, when he was talking about how if someone's looking for your service and they're using certain keywords, you want to pop up for those keywords. One of the things that I like about SEO and kind of the way that we do things now digitally is that everyone's kind of kept honest, because say you're auto shop or whatever, and maybe you offer a lot of services and you don't offer one service. Like maybe you don't work with tires for whatever reason, but you know that it's a popular keyword in your area. Well, if you wanted to kind of like quote unquote cheat the system and make content that targets those keywords, because you notice that a lot of people in your area are targeting things about like getting their tires changed or whatever, and you want to make content on that because you think that could kind of boost your SEO presence because you are an auto shop and you're in that same kind of industry. Well, if you're lying and you don't actually service that, what's going to happen is that people are going to find out, and then Google via the analytics will know that like, hey, something's not really right here. And it's kind of what we call black hat SEO, where it's kind of like if you try to do certain things to kind of cheat the system or take shortcuts, when Google does find out that you're doing it, you get what we call the Google slap, and basically you're ranking. So if you're ranking kind of high, or you're working your way up through the ranks to pop up higher in the search results, when you do something shady that's called black hat SEO and you get caught, you get taken down, and then you got a long way to go to build back up to where you were. Because as Frank said earlier, one way that you can pop up in the top is called pay-per-clicks or ads that you pay for, which is another we'll get into later. That you can rank instantly, but you got to pay for it. SEO is kind of like going to the gym. You got to go consistently, work out all the time to get those muscles. But
I
if you
love that. I absolutely love that analogy. It's like, it is, dude. It is like going to the gym. You're going to the gym every day, putting in that
yeah,
work, and you may not see the results tomorrow. You may not
nope,
even see them at the end of the week. But
nope,
guess what? 3 months from now, everybody's going to start seeing your results. Everybody's going to, you're going to be walking a little bit taller, a little bit, stiffer. And we're all going to notice that. And that's exactly how SEO is. It's, I always, think about SEO, and it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It
it's a
takes
marathon.
time, takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of resources, but the payoff is great. The payoff is amazing, right? Once you establish yourself as that, expert in your specific industry, Google will see that, and Google's going to see all the work you've been putting into SEO and seeing that, hey, this is a website that will be ranking, based on all of their SEO, efforts. So that's a really great thing. A couple other SEO strategies I do want to talk on here, uh, Carlos, is we have a few strategies we'll touch up right now. One of them is going to be keyword optimization. I do want to talk about on-page SEO, off-page SEO, a little bit of some technical SEO, as well as user experience, and how we're going to tie all of that in with analytics and monitoring those type of things. So I know we talked about a little bit of keyword optimization um, just a few minutes ago, but let's backtrack to that. Let's start off with keyword optimization. What does that mean to you, Carlos, and where do you start with keyword optimization?
Yeah, so I guess before we dive into keyword optimization, first let me separate into two categories. One of them being SEO, and then what we call local SEO. So you might hear that if you're doing research, or if you're looking for someone to kind of give you like a SEO service for your business, you might hear that come up, right? Local SEO and SEO. So SEO is, when you rank for those keywords, you're just ranking for the general populace. And what I like to tell people is, if you sell like a product that you can ship, like on, eBay or Amazon or whatever, SEO is great because you're just looking at, you can look at locations, you can target it by the country, you can target by whatever Google tracks in their data. So say you sell flashlights, you can look at keywords, you can do your keyword research, and then you can create content so you can pop up high for those results. Because you can go on Google and look up, flashlights for sale, flashlights for mechanics, flashlights for etc. Right? That's one type of SEO, because local SEO is more of your brick and mortar. If you're brick and mortar, that means that you can only service the people in your area. So like if you're a mechanic or if you're a dentist, you shouldn't necessarily make content that's going to appear for someone that's, if you're in California, someone that's going to read it in New York. Now, does it help your website and stuff? Yeah, it does help, but it doesn't help with actual foot traffic. So there's two kinds of SEOs, and there's two different strategies that we can break down in a different episode, but just want to clarify that there is SEO and then local SEO. But getting back to Frank's question about keyword, keywords is keywords, like you said, it's what you type into the Google search bar, but it's, certain industries have certain keywords. So the way I can give it to you as an example is, say you're a mechanic, you might do things like, diagnose a car, you might change the oils of cars, you might, change the timing belt, things like that. So those are keywords: timing belt, oil change, oil filter, error code and card, things like that. Those are keywords because those words are they pertain to your industry. So different industries will have different keywords. Now, the way you use keywords is, what are people looking for that? So I have a business and I offer services, but how are people looking for my business or businesses that are like mine? So for example, let's go to a different example. Let's say I'm a dentist. How do people in my community find dentists? Like, what are they actually searching? Are they looking up medical terms that me as a professional dentist who went to school that I'm familiar with? Like, let's say like gingivitis or other terminology like dental crowns and stuff like that. If you have experience in the industry, you might be looking for that. But say you're just a regular average Joe and you're having a toothache. How are you gonna come into a dental office? You might go on Google and say, I'm having tooth pain, I'm having a toothache, or my tooth
Yep.
hurts, I'm chewing. Those are going to be keywords. It's kind of a little redundant. If you're a doctor, you're like, oh, why am I going to make content for that? Well, because your patient is not a doctor, so they don't know the actual terminology. So
I love
with
that.
Google is probably more simple, easier things that they're experiencing at the moment. Tooth pain, my tooth hurts when I chew, my back tooth hurts when I drink cold water. So what people like Frank and I use is different software programs that allow us to track in locations. So let's say I live in Beverly Hills, I can target Beverly Hills and I can look those keywords up. And those platforms will tell me I can either put the exact keyword like tooth pain, and then it'll give me like results, or I can ask for suggestions too. Like I put like tooth pain and it'll tell me like, hey, well, 10 people searched for tooth pain, but 100 people searched for, tooth hurts when I drink cold water in your area. So through there, you kind of do what we call keyword research. You see what keywords are being used the most in your area. And then, it's up to you or people like Frank and I to come up with content for that.
Yeah, I love that. And that's absolutely, true. Based on, the findings that we find when we're doing this keyword research, we're able to create, high intent focus content that then people are going to look up, and our content, our websites, our web pages, our posts are going to appear for. And we're going to be able to help that specific user out and answer those questions. So I really like, that you touched up on some of the softwares that we use. However, if you don't have access to those softwares, some of them are free. I always recommend doing your research, but one of the things that we all use is going to be Google. Okay. Anytime you're on Google and you search, let's say, um, how to make a pizza, right? A lot of the times you're going to see this little box, and right there it'll say users also searched for. So that is Google acknowledging other items, other keywords or key phrases that people are also, searching for and looking for. So if you're doing some keyword research, you're at the very beginning of, of your digital journey, of your SEO journey, and you want to know how to do keyword research without these top, tier fancy programs that are, usually are paid to use for all the nice features and widgets. Google shows you a lot of this for free. You just got to know where to find it. So it's a little snippet there for you guys, a little, go nugget for you guys. When you're searching on Google, look in that section, see what other users are searching for, and see how that ties into your business and what you're trying to optimize for. But let's keep it moving. Let's go on to the next topic here, on-page SEO. You know, on-page SEO is really about optimizing individual web pages, specifically focusing on those pages or your website as a whole. And the way you're going to be doing that is you're going to be optimizing your meta tags, you're going to be optimizing your headings, your titles, your image alt tags, and none of these terms are making much sense to you. I highly recommend you go on Google right now and you search a little bit more about on-page SEO and how you can do this. And if you have any questions, make sure you guys drop them in the comments so we can make specific snippets for you guys to help you guys do this type of on-page SEO or keyword optimizations or any of the topics that we're talking about today. But that's a few things really about on-page SEO that I have to talk about is, it's really going to be about the titles, the headers, the meta descriptions, the meta tags, and you want to make sure every opportunity that you have to talk about the specific service you're offering, you're mentioning it in that specific, on that web page. If you have a web page, let's talk about, let's say you're a mechanic. You have a web page that you're showing, your service such as engine replacement, right? Your title, your main header should have engine replacement in there, right? It shouldn't talk about anything else, shouldn't talk about replacing, a timing belt, if it's not solely about that, right? You can talk about whatever you want. But what I would recommend as an expert is going to be what you want that page to rank for. You want to make sure those headers have that keyword in there and make sure it ties into your content. All right. I'm fucking tired of seeing some pages that pop up and they're like, oh yeah, learn how to do this. And then you read the content and it has nothing to do with that.
It's
that
irrelevant.
annoys me. Yeah, it's absolutely irrelevant. And I dip out of those pages so quick that I'm out. Okay, and I hope they get negative reviews because I'm like, dude, I can't believe I just read 2 paragraphs for absolutely nothing. Right?
Yeah,
We've all been there. We've all seen that. We've all looked up videos online where it's like, hey, how to get this for free, and then it never tells you how to get it for free. So
yeah,
don't be one
exactly.
of those people. Don't clickbait. Stick to what you know, stick to what's true, and just be honest with your users and what you have to offer.
Yeah, and kind of to tie into that, when we talk about, working your way from the bottom to kind of start ranking up, well, one way that you're not going to do that is like how Frank said, when you create content that's clickbait, because remember we talked about Google's algorithm. So Google's very smart. It's the #1 search engine for a reason. One of the things that Google does is, for example, let's say that you made a page where it said something like how Frank was saying, you're talking about one topic, but then your body is not related. So what Google's going to see is that we clicked on your page. Google knows what your focus key phrase is, right? So it knows what you're trying to target for. If a million people go on that page because you made it clickbaity, and then everybody just, like Frank says, I just fucking bounced, I dipped. Well, Google's gonna see that. Google's gonna say, there was a million people that clicked on that page. That's good. That's a pro. But then the time on page was like a few seconds. That means everybody saw this page and then they dipped. So it means that what they were looking for, they didn't find here. So this is not a good quality page. This is not good SEO. So that's gonna make that page or that website rank lower because you're not giving the people what they want. And that's what Google is. Google wants, when they track stuff, they want to see that, okay, you had your focus key phrase, people clicked on it because that's what they were looking for, and then they can track the time that people spent on that page. And they have their algorithm worked out to where they can tell, if people spend a few seconds on there, it's probably not good content. Whereas if people spend, multiple minutes on there, then Google says, no, this is great because people are spending a lot of time on here, especially when we're talking about local SEO. Because if you have competitors and say, there's another mechanic and he's not bullshitting people and he's not making clickbaity material, Google can now compare and contrast. They can say, well, Frank's mechanic shop had the similar page and Carlos's mechanic shop had a similar page, but people spent minutes on Frank's, and I can even see that they went back to that page to visit it again. Whereas Carlos's, they went on there once for a few seconds, they clicked out, and they never came back to that page. So that tells Google, Frank's making good content that people want, whereas Carlos is just doing bullshit. So that's a good point that he brought up, and that's one way that Google's going to use your content and other people's content, your competitors, to help you rank higher or help you rank lower.
Yeah, I love it. And one of the things that I do want to touch on that you did touch is, people going there like me and you, and we're bouncing, right? If we don't find what we want, what I'm looking for, if I don't find it in the first 2 seconds, I'm out. I'm leaving and I'm going to the next option. Okay. And the actual technical term for that is bounce rate, right? So it's exactly what it is a user lands on your page. They see that you don't have anything they need on there or what they're looking for, and they leave immediately in the first 15 seconds. If that happens, your bounce rate is going to go up. And Google's going to be tracking that consistently. And, once your bounce rate meets a certain allocation, Google's going to be like, okay, just like Carlos said, we're not going to be pointing your traffic at your page anymore because clearly it's not what these users are looking for. All right. So that really ties down to just being honest. Don't do any of these clickbaits. I know there's black hat SEO tags and they'll get you ranking quick, but it's going to give your website a very bad reputation, and it's going to Google's going to be able to catch on to it very, very quickly.
Yep.
And it is going to hurt your business.
Yeah, and then another quick thing is, I know we don't have like any visuals. This is our first episode, so we're amateurs. But we talk about on-site SEO, kind of to give you an idea in your head to what that kind of looks like. First let me say that it's boring. Okay, it's boring because the example I'm going to give you, it's a boring example. If you look back at when you were in college or in high school or even junior high and you had textbooks, you remember how in the textbook there was like the index and had the chapters. Then we actually turned to the chapter. The chapter was broken down where it said like, this chapter is about Egypt, the rise of Egypt, the fall of Egypt, Egypt's hierarchy, Egypt's economy. That's basically how we structure pages. So in that example, like Egypt would be our main keyword, right? And then our headers, like Frank was talking about, would be those subcategories like Egypt's economy, the rise of Egypt, the fall of Egypt. but everything's going to have to be doing with Egypt. And in those paragraphs and those bodies, they're going to tie it back into our main topic, which is Egypt, our keyword, right? And if you remember looking at the pictures that had images and at the bottom had a little description.
Well, yeah, the little caption. I remember those. Yeah, the little captions.
That's also in SEO. Sometimes you have images, and when you put those images, people like Frank or Frank mostly because he's a web developer, he'll have to put in keywords in those captions that tie back into our main keyword. And there's softwares that people like him and I in this profession will use, like there's Yoast SEO. There's a number of different ones that kind of will score your page to say like, hey, you're doing good, or to tell you, what, you did keyword stuffing, which is you put that keyword too many times in your content. So that's a little gimmicky. It's a little too much. It's not really organic. You're forcing it. Or it'll tell you, hey, what, good job. You wrote it and it has your headers, your subcategories, and everything ties back into the main keyword, and you mentioned it a few times here. That's great. That's what we like. So that's just kind of give you a little bit of a visual and a little understanding.
Yeah. And, just like Carlos said, it's our very first podcast, guys. Give us a break, all right? I'm not going to have all these fancy things for you guys to see, but subscribe, like, and I'll be 100% sure that we will get those type of graphics up. We will show you guys. We'll actually be doing a lot of screen shares coming up here where we're showing the actual things that we're doing, so you guys can get a sense, and you'll be able to follow along to all of these tactics, all the tools we're using, and all the strategies that we're doing. So you'll be able to follow along. One of the things that Carlos said that really just stuck with me until right now is, dude, some of this shit is boring. All right.
It's boring, dude.
It's fucking boring, but let me tell you what's not boring. What's not boring is the results you're going to get. The results that you're getting, the way that this is going to boost your business, boost your revenue, bring more traffic, more eyes to you, and really establish your site or your business, whatever it is that you have. It's going to establish you as a professional, right? And those results, you're going to get addicted to them. And you're going to be like, oh man, I need more SEO. I need more of this. Yeah. I need more backlinks. I need a lot of more, right? And I know we've talked about so many little, different topics, even in just the short amount that we've been here. And I'm going to make sure, Carlos going to make sure we come back to a lot of those topics, and we're really going to dive into them, really break them up and expand on them and elaborate. That way you're able to 100% know exactly what SEO is, exactly how to do keyword optimization, know exactly how to do on-page SEO, and a lot of all these other great topics that we have coming for you guys. So please make sure you guys please make sure you guys subscribe, because there's so much knowledge coming from us right back into you guys, and you guys are going to learn a lot. Just stick with us. Promise you it's going to be a great journey. You guys are going to learn so much. Carlos is a great SEO and digital marketing strategist. He knows so much, has so much knowledge, and I'm sure he's excited to be, really giving out his secret sauce to you guys. And I hope he does.
Literally.
I need to learn some of those stuff, because as a digital marketer, as an SEO expert, it's never over. We're lifelong learners. After this call, I'm probably going to go and do a little bit of research about SEO, because I'm like, oh, what's new now, right? You have AI coming out. Right, you got Google AI, you got ChatGPT, you got Bard. Everybody and their mamas are coming up with the AI, and we got to keep up with it. So our job, we're gonna make sure we keep up with it, so we can keep you guys informed and we can keep you guys in the loop, so you know exactly what you need to know. And we're not gonna beat around the bush and give you guys all this BS. We're here to tell you guys exactly what's working, what the experts are doing, and how you can implement these strategies.
Yep. And then quickly too, if you are watching and you're wondering like, who the hell are these two handsome Hispanic young men? Well, we do have experience in the field. We're not going to name drop like our clients, but suffice to say that, we work or have worked with big companies that are, located in different states that have like multiple different locations. And we help them rank against some of the biggest competitors in the industry that, if we were to name drop them, you might know who they are, but we're not going to do that. So we definitely do have experience. We definitely do have strategies that work, that are bulletproof. I know Frank's one of the smartest guys I've ever met, and I can tell you just from my time in the industry, I've definitely fucked up a lot, but I've learned the ins and outs of things, and now I know not only how things work, but why they work that way. And I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the results that people get from not ranking or ranking low to ranking like really high. I like using the gym example because it's like Frank said, like, you know, it's not, you don't really, if you go to the gym or you don't go to the gym, everybody knows that going to the gym isn't really fun. It's the after that's fun, right? You feel good after you go to the
The
gym.
results.
The results, when you start looking good, when you start feeling better, sleeping better. And that's what SEO is. It's not fun, but what is fun is when you see the results, when you see that either your business or your client's business is now ranking high for certain keywords. And then when you as a business owner, when you see that foot traffic, when you see the phone start ringing more, that's what's fun. But it's up to people like Frank and I, because I'll give you the secret sauce. But the thing is, it's like if I tell you how to get a six pack, I could tell you how to get a six pack, but are you going to do the work? How are you going to find motivation every day? That's the hard part. And that's the things that people like Frank and I do. You know, like we have the secret sauce and we're happy to share with you. But the reason that people hire us is because we already have the strategies, we already have the systems, we already have the know-how. So we're not just some random guys on the internet. We definitely have experience. And the more episodes you watch, you know, we'll share a little more secrets with you guys, and we'll show you how and why things work.
Perfect, guys. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I have no last words, really. I'm really excited to enjoy the rest of my Sunday today. So I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I hope you guys are having a great week. Whatever day it is you're watching this, dude, have a good day. Don't take your life too serious. You know, we live, you know, we don't live to work. We work to live, really. But, you
Work to
know,
live, baby.
we're here. We're trying to share our knowledge with you guys. If you guys want it, cool, awesome. Subscribe. If you guys don't want it, dude, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, it's all good, guys. We're here for a good time. Carlos, any last words from you?
Yeah, for me, you know, if you're watching, in the comments, put, you know, why are you watching? What brought you to this video? Are you a business owner? And if you are a business owner, can you drop, you don't have to drop your name of the business, but drop the industry, so that maybe if we create content, we can create content that's more tailored to you. Because if you're going to be our viewers, at least we can give you stuff that's good for
I
you
love
personally.
that. I love that. Carlos always worrying about the viewers, always worrying about the audience. It's what makes him a great SEO expert. It's what makes him a great, you know, digital marketing strategist. You guys got to listen to him. You guys got to follow both of us. Like I said, my name is Steph Frank, web developer and SEO expert.
Yep, and I'm Carlos, SEO, digital marketing strategist. So stay tuned. We'll have a lot more videos. We'll have more things to show you visually, so you can follow along with us, and we can break things down. So it's a little more like it's gonna be like a ghetto university here, but we're gonna make it happen.
You guys heard it here first. Have a good one, guys. Signing out.